Hi there, everybody. Here we go again. We're going to do a little bit more with visualizing some of this data that we have, right, from this sample survey that I got from Google Forms for people evaluating my product. And in this case, it's the grade 7 hand-eye coordination toy. So let's start out with another formula, which is quite nice. Let's put over here number of participants or survey respondents, people that responded to my survey. I'm going to do that bold and I'm going to put in a formula here. It's quite simple. It's just called the count formula. All it wants to know from me after I put equal count is what do I want it to count up? So I want it to count up these values. How many people responded. Don't include the average score, don't include the title. That doesn't make any sense to count that. Close the bracket so it's C2 to C14. Bam, 13 people responded. Okay, so that's good to know. That's kind of handy. Next thing that I think I'll do is I think I will make a pie chart showing the grades and the categories of people that responded. So I'm going to highlight that, including the title, grade age title, and then going down here to that teacher. Don't go down here to the average score title. That doesn't make sense to highlight. And then I go insert chart, and I've got a bar chart that pops up. I don't want that. I wanted a pie chart, so I go over here to change it. The right-hand side, I want a pie chart. Look at that. That's beautiful. It shows me the breakdown of the people that responded. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller because it doesn't need to be this big. A little smaller still. And I'm just going to push this over here so that it's slightly out of the way. Everything else I think is fine. So I'm going to close this window, this chart editor window. Yep, looking awesome. What we're slowly doing here is we're building up what's called a dashboard of visuals, a dashboard of graphs and charts to, help make sense of our data, help make sense of our numbers. So this looks good. I want another pie chart, this one to be based on the gender. These pie charts are good for category data, categorical data like this. Insert chart. Oh, this time it seemed to understand right away that I wanted a pie chart. That's great. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. I'm gonna push it over here and look at these guidelines, these red guidelines that pop up on the left. That's very handy because that way I can make sure that it lines up nicely, nice and neat. But you can see that this side doesn't line up. So let's stretch this a little to make it line up. Awesome. Great. That looks really good so far. I could probably make them even smaller still, but let's just leave it like that for now. Looking good. Now I want some bar charts to show me what's going on with these design specifications, right? These ratings that people gave me out of 5. I want to show in a more meaningful way what the results are. So actually, let me just make this a little bit smaller because I'm going to need some space. Let me make this a little bit smaller because I want everything to fit in my window. Still making sure that they're basically the same size. Move it over here. That looks good. The centers are aligned. You can see that red line. And I'll leave it like that for now. Now for the bar chart, we highlight some of the data for making sense of these numbers over here in column C. Remember, these are called columns. These are called rows. And what I want to do is I want to highlight the gender and the fun ratings that people gave. I'm not going to highlight the average score. That's useful, but not for a bar chart right now. And I'm going to insert a bar chart, and bam, it does it for me automatically. That's pretty darn sweet. And this is basically exactly what I was hoping for. It's quite clear. I think most people can figure it out quite quickly from looking at that. They can see, oh yeah, a couple high ratings there of 5s. And oh, there's one that's pretty low down here. And we do have some other options that we can add to charts. We can click on it and we can go to edit chart, and we can go over here to the chart editor options. And right now we've got x-axis labels, that's good, but I want y-axis labels as well. So I'm going to go to customize. I'm going to go to the chart and axis titles, the second one here. It's giving me an option for chart title. That's great. I want to do that. And we'll just say, is my product fun for kindergarten? Great. Look at that. Put that in. That's awesome. Now I'm also going to click on this because you see you have choices. You can label all these different, you can even add a subtitle, but I want the vertical y-axis title. And what's that supposed to be? It's just supposed to be showing that this is a Likert scale from 1 to 5. And that looks good. You can change the font if you want and the size, and you can bold it, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. Actually, I'm going to go back to the chart title. I'm going to bold that just to make it stand out a little bit more. And yeah, I think that's done. That's looking pretty darn good. I could put gender down there. I suppose that would make sense too. Why don't we do that? Title, gender, we'll leave that. Yeah, this is looking great. Now we're just going to do this over and over again with the other categories, right? So we're going to highlight gender, and I'm going to click and drag. And then I can't, this is in the way now, but you can select another column without selecting this column. There's, I think it's a control button on the Mac. No, that didn't work. It's highlighting this first, and then probably the option button, or maybe the command. No, that didn't work. It must be command. I'll try one last time, maybe even shift. Highlight that normally, then push command. Yeah, that worked. And then look, it highlights these two columns that I wanted without highlighting the one in between. So I did that by pushing the command button on a Mac, okay? And now I repeat the same process again. I go insert, chart. I want a bar chart. There it is, nice and big. And I want to go to the customize options here, the chart and axis titles. I want the horizontal axis title to say gender. Excellent. I want to go to the title, and I want it to say, is my, whoops, click in that field, is my product helpful for hand-eye coordination? Great, that's a good title. Make it bold like I did with the last one. And then the last label would be the vertical axis title. And I want this to say Likert scale, 1 to 5. And I could bold it if I wanted to, but I think that's about it. And this is looking good. And again, of course, I'm going to resize this and position this to be a little bit more efficient with space. Actually, I'm going to take this one too, push it over, and I'm going to put this over, push it over. So this dashboard is slowly filling up with really interesting and useful visuals to help make sense of our data, okay? So, and of course, I could keep going and add more charts so that I address all these design specifications, all in one page, all at a glance, all here. Try not to do it so that your viewers have to scroll the page. That's not going to be as helpful or as convenient. Try to make it all fit nicely all here on this one page. And it's okay if you cover this up a little bit more and you have to squeeze things a little bit more to make everything fit. Maybe resizing the charts just a little bit more as well. But this is shaping up really nicely. Of course, you can change colors too. There's lots of different options, but I just wanted to give you a starter on creating these charts. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Go try it yourself. Thanks for watching.